Gray of California, Congresswoman Janelle Bynum of Oregon, Kristen McDonald-Rivet of Michigan, Susie Lee of Nevada, Maggie Goodlander of New Hampshire, Josh Gottheimer of New Jersey, Gillen, New York, Don Davis, North Carolina, Vicente Gonzalez, Texas, and these candidates, because they just did something absolutely historic. These 13 Democrats have signed on to a pledge that when I read it to you, you're going to be like, that's crazy. They don't sound like Democrats at all. The Promise to America pledge. They say America is stronger than our politics. Politics forces false choices between extremes on right and left. We reject them. Too many Americans have not benefited from the last half century of economic growth. Americans want an economy that...
I know I'm kind of late with you guys. Just want to late stream right quick. Probably like 30 minutes, not too long. Just want to show something with you guys. You guys didn't see it already. Nothing new. And tomorrow I'll be at work, and after work tomorrow I gotta go to my grandson's birthday party. And I'm trying to see how this looks. I haven't tried this feature before.
New here at 5, a graphic social media post that's been shared thousands of times across East Texas is now at the center of an active criminal. Thanks for being here. I'm Brennan Gurley. Longview police arrested this woman right here on your screen, 21-year-old Sierra Ann Fuller, in connection with the assault outside Whiskey J's Bar on Sunday. Fuller is charged with assault causing bodily injury and was booked into the Gregg County Jail on a $20,000 bond.
I won't stream this late next time, you guys.
We cannot allow outside voices, online agitators, and anyone else to stir up a pot of hate, confusion, and division in our community. There are real people involved here. There are families involved. There is an investigation involved. And because of that, this moment requires responsibility from all of us.
Authorities say the investigation is ongoing and additional charges could be possible as detectives continue reviewing evidence. They are asking anyone with information about this incident to contact the Longview Police Department and to avoid spreading unverified claims while the case remains under investigation.
So you got to talk about a pretty insane story, but again, not surprising considering the characters that we're dealing with here, involving Carmelo Anthony supporters who have proven to be violent, just like Carmelo, who stabbed Austin Metcalf in the chest, committed cold-blooded murder. And the pro-Blackity Blacks have been upset since then because they don't like the fact that Carmelo is going to spend 35 years.
Right, you still got Willie D out here still pushing the bogus narrative. Like, dude, the man murdered somebody. The camera they showed us everything, different angles, and he's still trying to race bait. That's insane, man. And then Willie D had a lawyer on there, and the lawyer was telling, like, dude, he murdered somebody. He has to be equal force, to push for push, not push and then stab. Come on, man. It's crazy. Hope you guys like this type of setup.
Years in prison getting bent over, okay? And you have the pro-Blackity Blacks trying to get revenge against white people for what happened to Carmelo. And that is what this story involves, as allegedly you had
a Red Hood, by you blocking somebody the other day, 2 subscribers unsubscribed. They had subscribed, they unsubscribed because they said you had blocked them. That's crazy. That's crazy. Other than that, I don't care. They wasn't true then.
Mob of women screaming, "Free Carmelo," that allegedly beat up a woman, again, while chanting support for the killer. And nobody should be surprised to see that, again, these individuals are a part of the pro-Blackity Black mob. Take a look.
Early this morning, we got the mugshots of the 2 people who surrendered to police in connection to a Longview nightclub assault investigation. Police said Dejae Brown and Alana Mumphrey turned themselves in on Thursday. This comes after 21-year-old Sierra Ann Fuller was arrested and tried.
And I'm trying it this way with you guys. That way you guys can see me compared to me keep on flipping the camera back and forth. I want to see how this looks too as well. If it's okay with you guys.
Charged with assault causing bodily injury. Investigators say they are actively sorting through evidence and witness statements to figure out the full sequence of events. And despite the social media speculation about possible retaliation, police say they have not verified any credible threat to public safety.
Yeah, so you've seen that, you heard that. Now, again, the FBI is investigating this, and we're now getting some images that are coming out of the victim and how bad the victim was beaten by this mob of lunatics. And I want to react to Megyn Kelly's coverage of this incident because I think she does a great job basically going over the details of what we have thus far. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it.
There has now been an arrest, reportedly as many as 3 arrests down in Texas. And the feds are now reportedly stepping in, reports Fox News Digital, following a brutal assault on a Texas woman who was allegedly beaten down by a group of suspects chanting "Free Carmelo." Fox is reporting that in long...
That's crazy as hell, you guys. So beating somebody up and then chanting "Free Carmelo" is going to help him out? That's not going to work. Oh, you did the right thing, Red Hood. I don't care, man. You did the right thing. Yeah. Hell yeah. That's why I made you guys the blue badges. That's why I got you guys the blue badges. Get these people up out of here, man. Common sense.
Longview, Texas. Police have made this arrest in connection with this alleged random attack on a victim by this group of suspects that claim, according to Fox, that they had said, quote, they were going to target the smallest white girl they could find.
What's up, man?
And they did indeed find a white girl who appears to be severely injured. We've got pictures of her injuries.
I got a little busy day tomorrow. I got to go to work, and then after work, my grandson's birthday party. And that's in Chicago, and I'm in Rockford, so I'm going to be a little busy. Oh, yeah.
Which I'm going to show you now. We don't have her name. We do know that one woman has been arrested for this assault. Here is the victim, whose injuries appear all over her face and head. Her eyebrow is bloody and looks to have a deep gash on it. The top of her head appears to have a deep gash and is quite bloody. There's a picture that they've released of her high-heeled shoe, which none of us can quite figure out what we're seeing, but they appear to think it's evidence and has blood on it. We can cycle through the pictures, please. And you can see some of her injuries. She's wearing a neck brace. She's clearly been attacked. This is not neck brace that you...
Crazy, you guys. Crazy.
Okay, now we do have her name. The victim's name is Sammy Lee. This is not the kind of neck brace, we had a car accident and we're looking to run up our insurance bills. You can see the blood all over this woman's face and head, and arrests are being made. The first one is of 21-year-old Sierra Ann Fuller of Longview. She is facing assault charges and was booked into jail on a $20,000 bond, according to local KYTX. And the locals are reporting at least 2 other arrests as well in this case. Unbelievable. So we don't have any idea what the race of the perpetrators is, though I'm going to assume it's not necessarily white if they were looking to target, quote, the smallest white girl they could find. But this is in retaliation. The report is that this is in retaliation for the Carmelo Anthony conviction. This is insane.
Yeah, I mean, it is insane. Also, these individuals are punks, right? They're punks because you have 3 girls, 3 women deciding to find the quote-unquote smallest white girl they could find, and to beat her the way that they did. Again, it's punk behavior, but what else do you expect from the pro-blacks, right? These people are not living in reality. They're delusional. They're hateful.
Man.
They're everything that they claim they're against. Is anybody really surprised by this? I covered this story when it first started happening. Okay, you had these individuals who were running around punching random white people after Carmelo was convicted. Because again, these people have been brainwashed into believing lies and falsehoods being spread on the internet by pro-blackity blacks like Willie D, like the Amazing Bottom, aka the Amazing Lucas, spreading these falsehoods. Again, you're radicalizing people who are not very smart into believing that, again, Carmelo was railroaded by the system, that the white man is evil, and as a result, again, this is what you get, right? This is what you get as a result. But once again, you have the so-called pro-blackity blacks, the people who claim to be fighting against racism, hate, and bigotry. They're proving that they're the most racist people in this country, right? Again, could you guys imagine if the roles were reversed? This story is not a story that the mainstream liberal media is picking up on, right? There's barely any information about the story, but everybody knows if the roles were reversed, if a white mob had pulled up on a black girl, say, hey, we're going to find the smallest black girl and we're going to beat her up because we're mad about, I don't know, Chud the Builder, right? Right, yeah. That's actually like a perfect example, right? If this happened in retaliation for what's going on with Chud the Builder, it would be one of the biggest stories on social media. It would be one of the biggest stories in the mainstream liberal media. Seriously, right? Could you guys imagine imagery of a small black girl?
All lives matter, man. All lives matter.
Neck brace,
crazy,
bloody, from head to toe, clearly beat up. And if this was done by white people, there would be BLM riots all over the place. They'd be calling this a lynching, right? That's what they be calling it. They be calling it a lynching.
Yeah, the lady outside the courthouse of Carmelo Anthony come off the courthouse lynching Carmelo Anthony. Come on, man. Hold on, man. There's no way Carmelo Anthony's being lynched by a court. The man is in jail because of his actions, because of what he did. Can control his emotions. You had plenty of time to go in your bag and do what you did. You had time to leave that tent. They made it as if he was surrounded. He couldn't go nowhere. He was just boxed in. And that wasn't even the case. The man did what he did, popped up and ran. Insane. Drinking some beer. That's what's up.
But when it happens to a little white girl, right? A small white girl, well, there's not really that much coverage, right? Nobody cares.
Nope.
Obviously, the pro-blacky blacks ain't going to talk about this, right? They're probably low-key celebrating it. Let's be real.
More likely, yeah.
But again, we already know what the media would say, the outrage that would erupt if the roles were reversed. So again, this is the unfortunate reality of where we are as a country. You have the same group of people proving over and over and over again, the people who claim they're against racism, hate, and bigotry, right? They just want equality for everybody. No, they don't. They want special rights and privileges. They want to be able to commit crimes. They want to be able to stab people in the chest with no consequences, right? They want special rights and privileges that nobody else has in this country. They want to be able to run around and beat up white people. And
right. I mean, it was a lady on the airplane, heavyset woman, black woman on the airplane, talking some, excuse me. It's a long line of people that's in front of her trying to get off the plane just as much as she trying to get off the plane. And she kept on saying, excuse me. And they like, no, ma'am, no. They being nice. These guys, white guys being nice to her. And she's like, what if I hit you? It's like, you're being recorded. You know that, right? And we see you and me on the airplane. Like, just chimping out for real, man. There was no need to resort to violence. There's no need to resort to violence if you can't get your way. There's no need for all that. And this EBT community and Section 8 community be tripping. They at home doing nothing. Go outside and cause chaos.
Hurt white people with no consequences. That's what they want.
Yeah, punching people.
And that's what's being put on display here. Okay? Again, the unfortunate reality is that the people who are actually responsible for this, in my opinion, because let's be real, these women that did this, they're not intelligent, right? Let's be real. It's the people, it's the influencers the pro-blackity blacks, the Tariq Nasheeds, the Amazing Bottoms, the Willie D's, I go on and on and on. These are the people who are radicalizing these fools, these clowns, these agents of chaos into committing these acts of violence because they continuously spread lies and falsehoods about what happened to Carmelo, what happened that day, right? But I mean, hey, according to the pro-blackity blacks, you know, if this little white girl had ended up stabbing
Vashawn, what's up, bro?
these black girls in the chest in self-defense, well, it would have been justified, right? It would have been justified.
Kind of late with it, but I just figured I'd go ahead and go live right quick. Want to try this feature out. I haven't tried this out when I go live. I usually have my camera flipping back and forth. I figured, you know, try this out. Appreciate you guys being in the chat. Thank you. Totally
fine, right? According to the logic of the pro-blackity blacks, I guess in that situation, like legally speaking, she would have been justified, right? Because her life was legitimately put in danger, and she did suffer serious bodily harm, right? It wasn't just a push, again, which is something that, you know, the pro-blackity blacks don't seem to understand, proportionality.
I haven't drunk any alcohol in a year and 4 months now. I just went cold turkey and stopped. No alcohol. Yeah.
In a situation like that we're talking about right here, use of lethal force may have been necessary, right? It may have been legally justified, right? She'd have a much stronger case than Carmelo because she was actually jumped, unlike Carmelo, who was not jumped. He was not jumped, but this girl was jumped.
Oh, yeah.
That actually happened.
It's all about God.
And again, she suffered serious bodily harm as a result. Again, black folks are having a hard time beating the stereotypes, right? Having a hard time doing it because of stories like this.
Carmelo Anthony attacked and stabbed a young man to death. He happened to be black, and the decedent is white, and this wasn't a race case, despite the fact that Carmelo Anthony's family spokesperson tried to make it one. And now this small group of people, although it's growing, like the intellectual class, so-called, is jumping on board of this. Oh, now we have a picture of the perpetrator. Yeah, she does happen to be black. She's there with some crazy hair.
Come on, Megan. You knew. Everybody knew.
Duh.
Little white girl getting jumped. Free Carmelo. Of course they're black, right? Nobody should be surprised. Don't be surprised.
Blonde tips and dark roots, and I guess was allegedly part of this whole thing, now being held on $20,000 bond. So they're turning this into a race crime. Like what wasn't a race crime is turning into a race crime because there's a collection of people extremely angry about the fact that justice applied to Carmelo Anthony the same as it would to any other person who stabbed another boy in the heart with no reason. Here to join us on this.
And let's be honest, they should be charged with hate crimes, right? These individuals should be charged with hate crimes because that's what it was. It legitimately was a hate crime. If you're running around screaming free Carmelo, we're going to target white people as a result. To me, if that's not a hate crime, I don't know what is. So, yeah, I think the feds should be involved, and there definitely should be hate crime charges.
They're making it hard for Carmelo parole, even though, you know, he got years to get it. But they keep on pushing it to where he's not going to get no parole. And I think the father already said he gonna make sure he don't get out because he still haven't apologized. They're making songs about his son's death. They just straight stupid. Stupid. They want this man to be free, show a positive side. They keep on showing negative. What's the word now? They chimping. They straight chimping.
These individuals should be locked up a long time, right? At least 10 years. At least 10 years. Period. It is just unacceptable. Absolutely unacceptable. We have to throw the book at these individuals. When stuff like this happens, you have to set an example out of them because otherwise you're going to continue to see it. We've already seen it when it first happened. Now we're seeing it, and it's been, 2 or 3 weeks since the verdict? These people are still committing acts of violence. They still haven't gotten over it. They still haven't moved on.
This case and more is our friend Jason Whitlock. He is the host of Fearless with Jason Whitlock. This is so infuriating, Jason. The turning of the narrative around Carmelo Anthony has been infuriating from the start, and now it's culminating in race-based attacks as some sort of vengeance for what? The person who was hurt here was white. It was Austin Metcalf who was the victim here.
the world is upside down, Megan, and we sit here and we're baffled. Like, how did we get here? And it's been a long process, and it takes a lot to understand what is transpiring. But what, Megan? Do you remember the West Memphis 3 case? West Memphis, Arkansas. Yes. HBO did 3 documentaries. 3 white kids, teenagers, murdered 3 8-year-old boys. And these were all white kids. Damian Eccles, 18, 19 years old, Jason Baldwin, and Jesse Miss Kelly. They did the murders. And the prosecution argued that this was a satanic child sacrifice case. That's what they argued in court, and the jury agreed and convicted these guys. They gave Damian Eccles a life sentence. HBO jumped in, and people like Johnny Depp and Eddie Vedder and other celebrities jumped in and said, no, this is satanic panic, and this little small town in Arkansas has too many Jesus concerns, and these are just kids and misconstrued, and they didn't actually do it. And they, for 18 years, the media and HBO put out 3 different documentaries trying to argue that these kids were innocent. And eventually they got an Alford plea, and they became celebrities and heroes, and they got sprung from prison. They did the crime. And the argument was like heavy metal music and reading Stephen King books had influenced these kids into this satanic ritual child sacrifice deal. And Megan, I believe that the same thing is going on with hip hop music and hip hop culture. It has the same influence over young black kids, and it has overtaken black culture. And so hip hop culture believes that you touch this kid, you put your hands on me, I have a right to kill you or assault you with a weapon of some sort. And they want the rest of American society to bow to their standards. In hip hop, any sort of disrespect can be met with violence. This is why you see so many videos of black people say, don't you put your hands on me? You put your hands on me. Don't you? And see what happens if you put your hands on me. There's a mindset that has been given to black culture and black people that's incompatible with Christian American culture and Christian American standards. And that's how so many people are running around defending Carmelo, because they've been brainwashed. You put your hands on him. You pushed him. And in our culture, hip hop culture, we can be violent and kill you. And that's how they've come up with the self-defense case. And they've got idiots like Dominique Alexander that represented the family, the new Al Sharpton. He's a convicted felon. He comes from this hip hop prison, prison hip hop culture, and he's out promoting this. And Megan, you remember when we saw the black?
Yeah. So I hear what Jason Whitlock is saying. I generally agree with what he's saying, but I think more so than anything, it's not just that, right? Obviously you have individuals who are trying to defend this on the grounds of, well, Carmelo told Austin not to put his hands on him, and Austin should have kept his hands to himself. Yeah, I think everybody kind of understands that part of it, right? Yes, there's a very, very, very ass backwards culture of how uncivilized behavior in the black community is justified, right? And again, this is part of the reason why the black community is in such bad shape, is because of this type of mentality. But more so than anything, I think the brainwashing is coming from people who are getting on the internet and just outright lying about this. Again, the Willie D's, the Amazing Bottoms, the Tariq Nasheeds, because again, they're not just saying that, well, Austin put his hands on Carmelo, therefore is justified. They're not just saying that, but they're making up other lies as well too, that Carmelo was jumped. Right. They're making up other lies as well, too, in order to justify this stuff. And, they're claiming that the jury selection process was racist and, yada, yada, yada. I think it's a combination of everything. Right. All the lies, all the falsehoods that are brainwashing people who are just not very smart. They're just not very smart. And that's the unfortunate reality of what we're dealing with here, right? We're dealing with people who, again, are just not very intelligent, right? And these people vote, right? That's the scary part about it. These people vote, and they vote primarily for Democrats. So, you know,
Mr. Chicago conservative, you may begin. Thank you. You're welcome, sir. Appreciate that.
Last week, I warned you that Juneteenth is historically one of the most violent days for whatever reason. I asked you if Donald Trump, the President of the United States, if you would reach out to him for some kind of help or assistance. You said that Donald Trump was a massive failure or something to that effect. The people of Chicago, the real people, are asking me...
What? Wait a minute. So you mean to tell me the people was asking you to ask Donald Trump to get some help for Juneteenth because the real people of Chicago, like William J. Kelly said, they know that it's about to be violent shootings, you know, people trying to beat each other up. People are going to be drinking, partying. You guys already know where this leads. And your response is Trump is a massive failure. What the fuck are we even talking about with this dude, bro? You basically just want people to die at this point. Why the hell aren't you trying to make the necessary safety precautions to make sure that Black lives are safe? It's always the Black Lives Matter ass people that literally give no crap about Black lives. That doesn't even make sense. I would want as much help as possible. And this is why you have mayors like Eric Adams, that was the former mayor of New York, that basically just get cast aside when it comes to the Democratic Party and the, you know, leftist machine. Because if you try to prioritize safety just a little bit on the left, oh, well, you're a, whatever the fuck they be trying to say, authoritarian, basically. That's their favorite word. You're an authoritarian. You're racist.
Crazy.
Policing is racist. Like, come on, man. Until everybody in the Black community gets cooked. Everybody's an authoritarian until, I mean, look, I'm in these streets too, ladies and gentlemen. Look, you know what I'm saying? It's dangerous out here.
If you're the massive failure, not the president,
It's not just a failure. He's a doty individual. In fact, if you look specifically at his so-called Black agenda, he has not delivered on one promise. You can't say that you believe.
What are you talking about, Brandon Johnson? So you mean, okay, so basically, not only that he's a massive failure, he's dirty. So basically, ladies and gentlemen, he's white. He doesn't have the right color on his skin to do this job. What is it going to take for you guys to understand that this has nothing to do with color? Everybody bleeds red, right? I'm pretty sure Black people don't bleed, green blood. So what are we trying to differentiate ourselves from each other for? Why the division? I don't understand this logic. I don't understand this rhetoric. You're always trying to make it seem like being Black is just a plus in the world. And in my opinion, it's really not in the Western civilization. I can't speak for the East. I can't speak for, other, global locations. But when it comes to the West, I don't know.
Even creating safe communities, then literally undermine all of the efforts that create safer communities. The responsibility, of course, is on all of us. Here's a responsibility that I can take. Driving a community safety plan that removes guns from the streets of Chicago. Driving a community safety plan that actually invests in the community.
First of all, how about you get rid of the Safety Act that allow criminals back on the street? How about you talk to J.B. Pritzker about that? Besides, pretending like you're going to do something and telling people that you're going to do this, that, but not even actually going into depth as of what you're going to actually do. You're just saying shit, dude. You're not even saying what you're going to actually do. What do you mean, get the guns off the street? Okay, how? How the fuck are you going to do that? You don't like the police, dumbass. Remember, you don't like the police. You want to defund the police. Right. So who's going to get the guns off the streets? You trust the Black community to do that? You're dumb. Oh, yeah, we going to turn our gun in because Brandon Johnson saying so.
Yeah, right.
Come on, dude. Get real.
communities that this president refuses to invest in.
And these criminals can't even read anyway when it comes to these signs on the door or the symbols on the door that says no guns allowed. These people ain't listening to that, ain't reading that. That's the problem. Gun-free zone. That's all they're shooting at.
Driving a community safety plan that ensures that our local police department has the tools that they need to ultimately hold people accountable is why we have seen positive trends. Now, of course, there's more work to be done. That work is not going to be accomplished through social media. The failure of this administration is that he is more interested in tweeting or posting evil and
But here's the thing, Brandon Johnson. How the fuck do you think the team takeover message get out there? Through social media. So social media has power. Why? First of all, why are you talking about Trump? Bro.
He's in Washington, D.C.
So sick of people just talking about Trump for no reason. This is honestly why I became a conservative, honestly, because you guys are just talking about somebody who, first of all, this guy is not thinking about you. This guy is living rent-free in your head, Brandon Johnson. I'm pretty sure Donald Trump isn't thinking about you unless you're going viral for doing some dumb crap.
Low IQ.
Okay? But my thing is this, ladies and gentlemen. The fact that he said we're trying to supply police the right tools to do their job, how are you going to do that while simultaneously trying to not start riots, but protest in the name of progressive ideologies? You do know progressives don't like the police, right? This doesn't even make sense. This literally doesn't make sense at all. This dude is an idiot.
Inhumane projections, then he is actually willing to put money into the very communities that he ostensibly offers some degree of care for. But the fact of the matter is this: there's no one.
Nigga, didn't you just get your ass cooked by the alderman in the ward that got that weird ass Obama center that looks like a fucking garbage can? What are you talking about? Why the fuck does Trump have to invest in cities like Chicago? He's the president of the United States. That's J.B. Pritzker's job and your job to do that with the tax dollars that we give you. What are you even talking about right now? Now you sound retarded, bro. You're not even going to bring up the fact that that Obama Center literally raised the property taxes of every single black person in that community, in that neighborhood. They didn't even want that fucking Obama Center because they know young people aren't going to go there. You just wasted money and you basically just boosted Barack Obama's ego for no reason. Don't nobody even like the building. You think just because fucking Jasmine Sullivan, whoever the fuck was there, and J.B. Pritzker and fucking Adam Mockler and all these fucking people that was there at that Obama Center opening, nobody cares. The people that live in that area, they could care less. So you don't want to talk about how the Obama Center basically risen up the property taxes for the people that live in that community. But you want to dick ride Trump for not giving Chicago money after you keep talking about him and J.B. Pritzker keep talking about him? This doesn't make sense.
Administration in this city that has contributed more to keeping people safe. Is there more work to be done? Absolutely. Has this president undermined our work? He most certainly has. Again, this is an individual that is more interested in removing voting rights protections. He's more interested in calling for investigations or reducing the ability to investigate civil rights violations in court.
Dude, you're trying to get illegal migrants to right to vote, dude. Do you guys know
all it is?
27 states out of 50 doesn't require a photo ID for you to vote?
Right.
That is the craziest thing I've ever heard. So I can be, my name's Pierre. I can walk in there from basically coming from Mexico, get some type of weird ass document. It can be made up, by the way. Making fake documents is so easy nowadays. I could just be Javier, walk in there and just show them. They don't even have to have a photo. It can just say, my name is Javier and I'm here to vote in the state of Illinois. No, we're not having that. What the fuck are you talking about? That's not okay. And they're doing this in 27 other states that are all blue, by the way. None of those states are red. They're doing that no photo ID BS. But let's just continue.
Coordinating the upward transfer of wealth into the hands of the ultra-rich at the expense of everyday people. His failure is in defunding the very efforts that ultimately can keep people safe.
I ain't gonna lie. The first step is you getting out of office. Second step is getting somebody who actually knows how to run a city.
And this is what happened in Chicago. Voted somebody just because he black. Most stupid shit ever, man. Man, I knew that. When I seen him coming around, I'm looking like, no, man, don't vote for this guy, you guys. They did it anyway. And I worked in the Austin community as head of security, and I was a barber in the Austin community, right there on Madison and Laramie, west side of Chicago. And I was the head of security at Austin High School as well for some years. Oh, yeah. Chicago's a good place, man, but it's the people. Chicago got good food. Good scenery. Man, it's nice, but it's the people.
Let's just be honest here. Honestly, this shouldn't be hard. We know the problem in Chicago. It's the crime, it's the taxes, it's the homelessness. It's a lot of, things well put together into one big issue in Chicago. Crime creates poverty, ladies and gentlemen. I say this all the time. So when Brandon Johnson wants to keep spreading race and division and all of that crap, this doesn't help us at all. And I just want to say another thing. Brandon Johnson, you do realize you're talking about Donald Trump when over 40 people got shot Juneteenth, right? 8 people lost their lives. Why are you talking about Donald Trump, sir? That's just an honest question. I'm not even going to roast you when asking that. That's an honest question. Why? What does 40 people dying in Chicago? I mean, excuse me, not 40 people dying. Excuse me. 8 people dying, 40 people getting shot in Chicago. What the hell does that have to do with Trump? I'm genuinely asking.
Please answer that question.
I'm lost. You are saying absolutely nothing. Why would Trump invest in you? So you can give it to illegal migrants so they can help you win your re-election? Nigga, no. That ain't happening, okay? So I don't know what you guys I don't even know what y'all want us to do at this point on Brandon Johnson. It's like we have to just wait it out. But my thing is this, how long can we wait? Because I see in the comment section all the time, well, this is what you voted for. Oh, vote him out and do all this other crap. Okay, well, first of all, the only thing, in my opinion, that could work is that he resigns. He just got to resign at this point because we can't vote him out, and, the next election is next year. So my thing is this, ladies and gentlemen, whoever did vote for Brandon Johnson, man, you dumb as fuck. You're an L.
You played yourself.
And it's like, this is what you get for voting for black progressive mayors like Lori Lightfoot, Brandon Johnson, and etc. And it's not just in Chicago, ladies and gentlemen. It's in a lot of cities and states as well. So just keep that in mind that, this Democratic leadership, when it comes to these big cities, it has to start changing, ladies and gentlemen, because the death toll was getting pretty high in Chicago. So if you guys want more videos like this, reacting to William J. Kelly exposing Brandon Johnson, me giving my input on the news in Chicago, and I actually just debated Adam Mockler again. This is round 2 for me. Okay, so if you guys want to check out that video, I would very, very much appreciate that a lot, ladies and gentlemen. That was a very, very good discussion. And make sure you guys comment down below what you guys think. This dude is a fucking moron, in my opinion.
Grand jury indictment charges Alexander Iniguez Mercado with obstruction of justice. He appeared before Judge Gabriel Fuentes with restraints around his ankles late this afternoon. The charging documents say he was an administrator and member of signal messaging groups that included members who appeared to communicate with others about the planning of a violent attack targeting the UFC event at the White House on June 14th. The day before the UFC event, an FBI special agent called Mercado to discuss the online threats against the event. Mercado allegedly denied any plans to travel to Washington and refused to meet with the agent.
So we just got breaking news of the Chicago guy who basically tried to set up the UFC event for Trump to get assassinated. And all I'm going to say is this. Y'all can love Trump. Y'all can hate him.
Chat, this is Vashawn, the Chicago Conservative, Unfiltered. Check him out. This is his videos. I'm showing 2 of them right now so far. I'm going to play another one. He was in the chat. I don't know if he left the chat or not, but if he is, man, I appreciate you, man. Let's continue.
But nobody ever tried to kill a president this much damn near since the 1700s. I don't know what the hell Donald Trump did to y'all that was so bad to the point where y'all got this man dodging bullets in rallies and basically got this man having to basically get out of his own golfing course because you got crazy people at the Mar-a-Lago airport trying to kill him. I just don't understand this logic, ladies and gentlemen. Why the hell are you guys this hateful when it comes to your president? You do realize there was a lot of people that didn't like Obama as well, right? We wasn't trying to unalive Obama. We wasn't trying to basically assassinate Obama every fucking week or every month.
Enough on that. That's a good question, Hard Right. Honest question. Do you think a lot of blacks vote Democrat in fear of losing government assistance? I believe some. Yeah, I'm going to say yes. Because look how long they've been on it. Not just the blacks, just other people as well, but mostly just the blacks have been on it, man. Shit crazy. I got a big family, and they was on it as well when I grew up. I was excited to get a book of stamps in my hand. On the real, especially at the 5 and the 10. And it was different colors too as well. As a kid growing up, getting them food stamps, tearing out the little booklet. That shit was fun.
Hey, how's it going? Like, they really need to get this together, man, because I just don't understand. Like, what do you get out of being divisive like that? What do you get out of spreading hate and division like that, especially to someone who don't even know you?
Don't know you.
And I'm not even going to say that this man is from Chicago, because to me, the guy sounds like a fucking illegal immigrant. But that's just my opinion. And my thing is this, ladies and gentlemen, this is exactly what I mean when I say we have to conserve basically traditional values in America, because if we allow all of these other ideologies from other countries to spew into our country, this is what happens. We're not fucking turning America to Puerto Rico, okay? It's not happening. America is not about to be fucking Mexico. It ain't about to be Africa. It's not happening, okay? This is America. So I would appreciate it if you guys please stop trying to, kill the president of the United States, because, that's fucking weird.
Any president.
No president is going to be perfect. No president is going to do everything right. But for you guys to constantly try to unalive this man is just absolutely ridiculous. And it just goes to show you who the actual violent ones are. And that's clearly and obviously the left. And no one can ever change my opinion about that. So you guys are calling Trump a fascist and a Nazi and Hitler and all of this crazy ass rhetoric. You guys don't think that plays a part in, people trying to kill him? If Trump wanted to do all this stuff that y'all said he was going to do, he would have been done it, because, he was president already. Learn to have more debates and conversations, even though, in my opinion, I don't think we can debate with these people anymore. There's a few, but not many. Don't be dumb. Stay safe.
Safety comes from creating environments where teens feel welcome, respected, and protected. Instead of focusing on restrictions, we should focus on creating more opportunities for young people.
They took all the free spaces from us, and they expect us not to go to the beach or go downtown. But there's nowhere for us to connect or meet new people.
So
So we heard from the majority volunteers who spoke about how it's the city's responsibility to create more safe spaces and that adults need to listen to teenagers and meet them where they're at.
First of all, I just got to say this, man. Ain't no meeting no fucking teenager in the middle as an adult. What are y'all talking about with that? There is no discussion or no negotiation with that. They're minors. And we all know that teens are taking over downtown when it comes to the teen takeover and all of this nonsense. And I'm not trying to talk about, these kids that's in the video because, they might be minors and all of that stuff. But y'all could have definitely chosen some more literate children. I'm so sick of these teenagers acting like they ain't got nothing better to do, man, besides cause chaos out here. When I was growing up, we had the park district. We used to hoop at the court, play sports, and do all type of activities. And I don't understand why.
Right. I mean, when we came to hooping, we hooped downtown at the beach. We hooped in Maywood. We hooped everywhere. We was traveling when we came to hoop. We went everywhere. Boot bags and shorts and shoes ready to go, ready to hoop every summer. Now you don't see nobody on the basketball court no more. I blame COVID for that shit, man. Democrat Party, y'all destroyed kids going outside. Literally, they destroyed them. They were trying to have a good time. They had the cops called on them. Literally Lightfoot, goofy ass. Now she ain't in the mirror no more. Damn, that's crazy, man. And most of these kids, I keep on saying, are the e-learning kids, learning from damn laptops. No teacher in front of them. No help, no nothing, just a laptop. Insane. And they graduated like that.
How the fuck would y'all shoot down this law to basically hold parents accountable and fine them $1,000 if their kid is found outside of the curfew? Why would y'all shoot that down? That will bring more revenue into Chicago. And what the fuck are these parents actually going to do? Not pay it? I've been hearing all these parents saying they not going to pay the fine and all this shit. Like, what do you mean you're not going to pay the fine? You're going to go to jail, dummy. And these parents need to, start really keeping in contact with their kids. I don't understand that. Hey, how's it going, brother? Hey, are you the guy that was from the other day? Because if I tried to negotiate with my mom, I would probably be fucking handicapped or probably sent to Afghanistan. Send this to all of them dumbass parents tomorrow. Who y'all think gonna pay that fine? You. Fuck you mean? Who gonna pay it? You're gonna pay it because your fucking kid is out here causing chaos, dummy. And if you don't pay it, you go to jail. Don't be dumb, man. Stay safe.
If you guys enjoyed and want more videos like this, please hit the like.
You heard about this Carnival Cruise situation that happened the other day?
God don't want me around certain black people, and he always makes sure to show me the signs. It ain't been a week. I just thought of the idea, maybe less than a week ago, that, take a out the country, never then took a cruise. And I was weighing Carnival, Royal Caribbean, and Virgin. And here comes the timeline right on time with some 16 people in a brawl in Carnival Cruise Lines.
I want to say this real quick, and I'm going to let this thing play, but I thought the economy was bad, and I thought people didn't have money. It sure is a whole heck of a lot of people traveling on cruises and all this other kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying? I find that very weird.
I thought gas was high. What happened to that?
Seriously.
And it reminds me, anytime I've ever in the past have seen some drama on the news, it's always been Carnival. And I know y'all about to get my comments, Jamal. I've been on plenty of Carnival cruises. Duh, I ain't never had nothing. I don't give a. Anytime that Carnival cruise is in the news, it is always a group of black people and some type of foolery and ghetto.
Nothing wrong with that, man.
A couple of years ago, where it was a group of black people fighting in a buffet gathering on a Carnival cruise. Yeah, I remember it. When it starts popping off, I remember what happens. So you know what Carnival Cruise is? Carnival Cruise is the sea version, and God rest their wings, of Spirit Airlines. Spirit might not have killed nobody in 34 years it was in business, but every time it was an airplane incident, 8 times out of 10, it was a ghetto-ass Spirit Airlines customer doing something. So God, I appreciate you for showing me this on TikTok. I appreciate you for throwing that video. Carnival Cruise, you can count that out. Like, you and your demographic and economic status of clientele, y'all can leave me with that.
If you haven't heard by now, there was a massive brawl that broke out between two families at Port Miami. Now, this was in the border and customs patrol area of one of the Carnival cruise ships. But this is why I stay away from Carnival Cruise Line, and I don't want to be anywhere near you, mother, because what are y'all doing? I seen they uppercut and they ain't no way y'all acting like this on vacation. Now, this is the type of that I see when I'm with my children, and I say, let's get away from these, because I don't want to be around these losers. There is no way that you're ruining a vacation because y'all want to fight another family.
That was the beginning of the vacation at that. They hadn't even got on the ship yet. They couldn't hold it in. You know what I'm saying? They couldn't even get on the ship and let that thing dock before they got into it.
Y'all act up everywhere you go, and it's irritating. I don't even understand how people go on vacation and have that. Like, why are you so angry? I'm happy on vacation.
Ginger and Juice said Carnival is the Greyhound bus of the cruise ships.
Damn. I want to start talking to people that I don't know. I want to sit at the bar. I want to relax. Fighting another family is the least thing on my mind. I promise you. And I sure ain't about to get locked up on no cruise ship or down no Miami or nothing else. Learn how to act or stop booking these vacations, because y'all literally ruin everybody's good time. Y'all are disgusting. And stop saying, oh, because you got to stand behind the black people. I'm not standing behind no stupid like this.
Nigga fatigue, not black fatigue. It's the niggas, man. The YNs, it's straight tripping. Damn. Stay at home.
Well, you've probably seen the video online. A massive brawl broke out at Port Miami earlier today. The Miami-Dade Sheriff's Office says that the fight was between two families. Take a look. This is video from Only in Dade. According to a spokesperson for Carnival Cruise Line, a total of 16 people have been placed on their do not sell list. The spokesperson also said that it happened while the families were passing through Customs and Border Patrol. MDSO said neither of the families wanted to press charges against each other.
Y'all heard the Hatfield in me.
Surprised they didn't say it was racist. You know what I'm saying? Surprised they didn't say that.
Boys, that's the Jenkins and the Fergusons.
This was interesting to watch. And first of all, shout out to whoever said that Carnival is like the Spirit, and then to Ginger and Juice for Greyhound. It's so funny that in society, we immediately know where are those areas where ratchetry is most prevalent? Where are those areas where I'm most likely not to have a good experience? I'm most likely going to have to look over my shoulder, and yet we still won't do anything. And it makes me wonder, what is it going to take for the quote-unquote black community to wake up? Because here's the deal. They're not going to talk about this. They're going to try something else to talk about on TikTok, on YouTube. If you are a member of that community, you can't be pressed on this one because then you're racist if I bring it up to you, right? Well, then that's just them, right? But doesn't speak for everybody else. There's no amount, this is what I've seen. There's no amount of statistics, no amount of history, no amount of news articles that is going to get people to take accountability. Because when I say that, it's why do I have to take accountability for someone else's behavior? Why do white people have to take accountability for everyone else's behavior, right? It's the circular logic that winds up happening. And I'll say this about the families. Whoever the man of that family is, sir, you don't work hard enough or you don't respect it. The do not sell list, you realize for cruises, you probably already paid for a good amount of that cruise. You ain't getting that back. You ain't getting that back. So you lighten your money on fire because you cannot control your family. Because in that situation, you don't walk away. If I paid 16 people, so if I split it 8 and 8, you spent over $1,000 easy on this cruise, probably a few thousand for all 8 of those individuals. And I see somebody roll up to my family, I'm about to go ahead and cash the final portion of this check and get on the boat. And someone says, hey, you know, you a punk, come over here and fight me. Don't you walk over there, right? I didn't go to work for you to do all of this stuff. You better sit your butt right here and be a punk and get on this cruise ship and enjoy yourself, right? I'm not going to deal with all of that stuff. But the problem is that these things continue to happen. And if Carnival says, hey, we're going to update our policies like they did before. Y'all remember that out last. We were here on the show and we talked about it, right?
Yeah,
we can't have loudspeakers anymore.
Yes.
No, racist. Nobody said black people can't have speakers anymore. But you will be so quick
to call out racism in that same speed, I need y'all to keep that same energy, right? Don't stop that energy whenever it comes the other direction. Y'all the first ones to go out there and cape for your skin color, first ones to tell white people that you don't like us, first one to tell us that you have systematic racism, all that. Keep that same energy whenever it's the other way around. And that same group of individuals who are systematically oppressed, the same group of individuals who never had a chance are causing problems, bring that energy to the table as well. Then maybe people will take you seriously.
I think that, first of all, the reason why they're neither family press charge because they know both of them are wrong. That's number one. They both knew they were wrong. But I think you're right. I think that the crews the company should sue them for as much as they can get and bankrupt them so they can't go back on another cruise.
Damn.
It's that I'm telling you, it's the Klarna, and there's a few others. Klarna is the only one I can really think of because it's probably the most popular one, out there that allows people to, get a cruise and pay for it for 6 months or a year or something along those lines. I mean, people are using Klarna for a bunch of other things too, for Chick-fil-A and stuff, which I think is crazy. Where you're financing a Chick-fil-A meal, which is the craziest thing.
We're going into debt over a number one at Chick-fil-A. Are you serious?
Yes.
That's financial literacy. It needs to come back.
Oh, yeah. Well, again, it also goes back to all these same people, and Nanny wanted me to let you know, AT, that gas has come down, and it has come down. It actually come down tremendously. But all of these people out here traveling, they on vacation, they on cruises, like it's nobody's business. Yeah. But then we'll turn around and tell you that the economy's terrible, and they got no money. I'm like, well, how are y'all doing all this traveling?
I'm not for all this. We're going to have to separate. We just are. You cannot
Y'all doing something
every time people work, okay, and they save their money and they budget themselves so that they can have a few luxuries and a few conveniences in their life. And they cannot spare those things so that they can get trapped up in some melee because you happen to be in line at a time when these foolish people get into an argument. And you got to think about it. You can drink all day.
I wasn't planning on live streaming this long, actually. I gotta be at work in the morning. I work at 6 I gotta be working 6, but I get up at 4 to get ready. So I'm not gonna live stream it too long. Hard right.
On these cruises, you can drink from sunup to sundown, and God knows what else they bring with them. I don't know that could keep them, intoxicated or maybe not in their, best mind where they can, think well and react appropriately. I don't want to be around them. I absolutely don't want to be around them. And it's a shame. You know what it is? It's about people's inability to accept that they have to adjust for society. And I'm going to go back to this whole self-esteem movement and all the foolishness we have been raising our children on for the last 30 years. I'm okay, you're okay. No, you're not okay.
Okay, Harvard.
Your parents have to make you into something that the rest of the world can tolerate. That is the job of the parents, is to find a way to make your child likable so that when they go out into the society, they can be well received in as many circles as possible, because that's what can create for them an advantage. If you have good manners and a good disposition, it is worth more than a skill, because people are willing to train somebody who has good manners and a good disposition. So the most important thing a parent can do is instill those characteristics in their children that will make them likable. What we've got is a bunch of unlikable people out here traveling and mixing amongst us. Every time you try to go and get a steak, here they come. You try to sit in some sun, here they are. You got sand in your toes. You better stay in a squat in case you gotta run, because here they come loading down the beach. You can't escape them anywhere. For me, I say go back to work, make more money, and figure out where it is they can't go, and try and get yourself there, because this is the fatigue. We are tired of our little bit of hard-earned leisure time being corrupted and interrupted by these miscreants.
Baby grown-ups.
Yeah, that's what they are. Bebe's kids. Bebe kids grew up. How about that? For those
they
that
didn't
know,
die, they multiplied.
They multiplied, and now they are adults.
Everywhere.
I will say this. I don't want to give the secrets away, but I'm going to give a few secrets away because we family here. Whatever they're talking about on TikTok, Insta, as far as vacation spots, just do the opposite.
Just do the opposite.
Everybody's like, oh man, I'm going on a cruise. You know what? I'm not going on cruises. Nope. There is a plethora of great resorts that are right here stateside that you can get that. You can still get that luxury feeling that you're looking for.
Right.
And you don't have to be around these types of people.
That's right.
Because they hadn't heard of them yet. Now, I don't want to give you any of my spots. You know what I'm saying? I got a couple spots that I'm like, yeah, this is where we'll go. Up in the mountains, you ain't got to worry about people acting the fool up there in Mount Airy. You ain't got to worry about that. Gorgeous, beautiful up here. All time of the year, too. Or if you want the beach and play some golf, it's right there. People, they want to get ratchet, they go out to Ocean City. No, there's a lot of really cool places that you go right here in the country that most people that's not out there on the radar that most people can go to. And maybe the price point might be a little higher, but you pay to not be around ratchetness. You know what I'm saying? It is worth it. You might, it might be a little slight uptick, in the price, but hey, you pay to not be around the ratchetness.
There are code words when you're looking through the websites. If you see the word tranquility, that's the time.
I'm just over y'all. Y'all around here telling all these EBT corner using 40 drinking pavement chips where to go. Why y'all telling them that stuff? Don't be telling them where to go. We will definitely be going on cruises, but we know the cruises to go on because they can't afford those cruises. They can't even smell those cruises. They can't pay for the flights to go there. And the cruise lines that we go on, the minute you cut up, they're throwing you off.
Locking you up.
They're locking you up or throwing you off. They're not sitting down here trying to figure out how to work it out. Absolutely not. I told Brother Wise this, was it a couple of days ago? Royal Caribbean turned the ship around.
Yeah.
And was like, get off. We don't want you on here. That's the type of traveling. But no, all I'm saying is, at this point, I'm just tired of these gutter ratchet bunnies. But that's what they are. They're just so tiring. At this point, like, I blame the Boule crowd because the Boule crowd is a crowd that uplifts them. That's the point. They're the ones that uplift them. They're the ones that and as we always say, it's not about black and white. It's about class, realistically, and they lack class. And the difference within the black cult, I'm going to call it that, the black cult and everybody else, they will shun, make, shame, and great again all of their bad behaving people. No, you can't be coming on here. No, you're not. They will make you so uncomfortable. I have seen it where and I'll say it, the redneck country bumpkin, whatever, that don't have no kind of common sense come around, the family that got their stuff together, and they will make them so uncomfortable. They don't even want to show up no more. They want no parts because they feel so uncomfortable. But black people be like, come on in, cousin, and then you're just like, why are y'all doing this? I'm telling y'all, the separation is real, and I am all team. I know Minister Denzel says if you put them all together, they'll become dangerous and all that. I agree. I just feel like we just need to find one spot on earth and just leave them, just leave them right there. Because they're going to be problematic. This is something I realized living here in Atlanta. The people who their status is when they can come into the places to have money. So they will do whatever they have to do, even though they have not left. Let me spread it this way. You took Crystal out the hood, but the hood did not come with Crystal. That did not come with Crystal because Crystal was never hood. Crystal was never racked. Crystal was never, did not have that mindset. So when I left there, I never actually belonged there. That was where I was living, but that was not where, that was never who I was. These people leave these areas and they want to take it with them. And then they want to put it on top of everybody. And then they get
Right, voting blue. And then go to a red state voting blue. Hell no. What is you doing? You might well stay in the state you at and keep on voting blue. Don't come to a red state voting blue. You know?
offended with and everybody calls them black fatigue. Even when you look at with Bonnie Blue, don't nobody want to claim Bonnie Blue. I believe she's an OF type girl that she listen.
Oh, I know her. She's the one that had the world record.
Yes.
The most amount of
men. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Oh, that's sick.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was like 1,024 hours or something like that.
But ain't nobody, white people are sitting down there, we love us some Bonnie Blue. That's one of our, they're not doing that. They're not doing no parts of her.
Yep.
And that's what I'm saying. Why do we keep embracing, again, make shaming great again? Make them uncomfortable, because you should never be comfortable in your sin. You should never be comfortable in that. I love Proverbs 11:22 says, like a gold ring and a pig's snout is a beautiful woman who lacks discretion. That's what women were. Right. Proverbs 12:16, the vexation of a fool is known at once, but the prudent ignores an insult. That is what I'm talking about. They don't even read and learn. They just go. That's why I tell you, you tell them to go read Thomas Sowell, they ain't gonna touch that. They ain't gonna listen to it either.
No, that's too much for
these
the brain.
people, they're reprobate. And the Lord said that some of these people, because they wanted to deny the conviction of the Holy Spirit, they wanted to deny everyone trying to show them the right way. He's going to lead them in their reprobate mind. And that's what we're seeing with these people.
I want to hear from you guys. What are your thoughts on any of this? Hit the like button, share the video, subscribe to the channel, turn the notifications on to all so you never miss an upload. Consider joining the ARP family or buy your brother a coffee.
Now, I don't think the most interesting thing about today's video is politics. I actually think it's timing, because these clips weren't recorded in the same room, obviously. They weren't organized by the same person. Different ages, different backgrounds, different personalities, and yet somehow they all walked into the same conclusion from different angles. That's what usually catches my attention when I make these videos. Now, whether you agree with every word or not, something has definitely shifted. The conversation itself doesn't sound like it did even 5 years ago. Instead of asking who did this to us, more asking, what do we fix first? Now, I want you to watch out. Every one of these clips has another piece to that question.
So this photo right here is me as a young man, right? I think I was like 19 or 20 years old when the whole Trayvon Martin shit happened. I used to be on that dumb shit too. You know what I mean? Thinking that the white man was after me, thinking that I was a threat to society because I was black. This was when the BLM movement really first kicked off. But see, one thing about life, it teaches you shit. It shows you shit. And I had the ability to grow and develop as a man. I had to realize maybe I'm being lied to. Maybe America is not that bad. But see, one thing about me, I had the ability to grow and mature. A lot of you motherfuckers ain't got that. You motherfuckers are in y'all 30s and 40s still thinking the same way y'all thought when y'all was 17. That's absolutely fucking disgusting. And that's why the IQ score is an average of 85 with black folks, because y'all don't know how to fucking grow. So this photo...
So he starts somewhere a lot of people don't like admitting they started. Like me too. I believed it. I was one of those, man. That's a different conversation than pretending you've always had everything figured out, right? The internet rarely rewards people for changing their minds. It usually just rewards commitment. Doesn't matter if you're wrong as long as you're consistently wrong. Some people would rather protect an old opinion than admit they outgrew it. Growth has become suspicious. Let's just continue.
White people is not the reason your neighborhood is in shambles. White people is not the reason that you throw your flaming hot bag on the ground. White people is also not the reason for you having bulletproof glass or being fed through bulletproof glass in your neighborhood. White people are not the reason for you guys being baby mothers, for you having children out of wedlock. They're not the reason for that either. And they're definitely not the reason why you guys are killing each other. The truth is, a lot of these things that are happening within our community, we have control over. We can change them if we choose to identify and do something about these issues. But it is us that refuse to do anything about our own issues. And instead, we choose to blame other races of people. And that is why nothing is getting done. That is why we are constantly being shot down, not only by ourselves, but other races of people are starting to shoot us down because we are not doing nothing about the issues in our community. And they're spilling over into other communities where they are doing something about it. So the question is, should we be blaming white people or should we blame ourselves?
Notice what she's actually talking about. She's not listing statistics here. She's not talking about reflexes. You know, every problem shows up. And before anyone even asks what happened, the answer is already loaded. It's almost like some people carry explanations around before they even know the question.
Right.
That's what caught my ear. Because responsibility obviously isn't popular to us anymore in our community. I'm just keeping it real.
Accountability, nope.
You know, responsibility doesn't trend. It doesn't get applause. And it just gets homework that it doesn't like.
I don't know who needs to hear this, but the reason why a lot of other races don't like being around black people is not because they're jealous of black culture or black people. And let me explain to you guys what I mean by that. You guys, there's a growing and feminine narrative within the black community that the reason why a lot of races in America don't like black people is because they're jealous of black culture. And I sort of find that strange because what exactly is there to be jealous about? Are they jealous of the music in our culture that glorifies single motherhood, gang violence, and murder? Are they jealous that we as African Americans have some of the highest divorce rates, lowest marriage rates, and some of the lowest two-person household rates?
Where's
You
the
guys,
lie?
as a
Where's
fellow
the
black
lie?
person, I hate to burst your bubble, but the reason why groups of people do not like African Americans is not because they're jealous of us. It's because our culture has turned into garbage, which creates garbage people. And then those garbage people create garbage acts that make other people not want to be around us. The notion that people do not like you because they are jealous of you is feminine. It shows that the black community does not have proper critical thinking skills to solve problems.
Like, share, and subscribe. Name is Deunta. Thank you for stopping by. Appreciate you guys. Thank you.
So what they do is, in a very feminine way, by the way, is divert blame and shame elsewhere. Because at the end of the day, we are human beings and we want to be communal. But if a human being has poor social and communication skills, they will say and or do anything to justify why they are not liked. And never in my days as a grown-ass man has a group of people not liked me, and I said to myself, the reason why they don't like me because they jealous of me. What kind of sassy shit is that? The reason why you're not liked is probably because you are not likable. And don't get me wrong, you have two choices. The first choice is you don't have to change. You can continue being obnoxious, annoying, loud, and disrespectful, but the thing is, you can't get upset when people want you away from them. You cannot say that people are jealous of you because they don't want to be around you. Because this is the life that you chose. You chose to express yourself however you want. So now you're going to be by yourself. The second choice is when you say, maybe I have a problem and maybe I'll change. Maybe I won't be able to act however I want, but I'll have a community that backs me at the same time. So changing is up to you.
Man.
You don't have to change, but you damn sure have to live with the consequences of your actions. And this is why it's very important as functional black men to stand up, because this is what femininity does to a culture. For decades, the black community has been run by women and it's been running straight into the ground. So if we want to fix the black community, we need black male leaders who are God-fearing to stand up so we can have a good community again. I hope this helped.
This clip shifts from behavior to, psychology, right? Whether you agree with his word or not, I do. He's arguing that excuses don't always come from confidence. Sometimes they come from embarrassment.
Right.
That's an uncomfortable distinction. Because if embarrassment is driving the whole conversation in the first place, then fixing the problem starts with honesty, not image management. That's a much harder assignment than finding somebody else to blame.
Nobody's forcing you to commit crimes. You know that, right? Nobody's forcing you to sell drugs and catch a case. Nobody is forcing you to have 3 or 4 kids out of wedlock. Nobody's forcing you to fail that drug test that could get you the job that'll actually change your life. Those are choices. And every time you make them choices, you're the one that's got to deal with the consequences. Not your mama, not the government, not the white man. You. I tell you what the problem is. It's not just the bad decisions. It's your mindset that's telling you none of this is your fault. You can't expect to keep doing the same things over and over again and somehow get a different result. That's how you stay stuck for life. You want better, you're going to have to hold yourself accountable for things you can actually control. Like your mindset, your work ethic, your habits, how you treat the mother of your kids, whether or not you're showing up for your kids. Until more of us start taking ownership of our lives, nothing around us is going to get better. The neighborhoods aren't going to get better if men keep making bad decisions. And the kids won't have a better future if you keep choosing to repeat the same cycles that broke the generation before you. It's on you. It's always been on you. At the end of the day, the most powerful thing you can do is stop waiting for somebody to come and fix it. You got to look in that mirror every day and say, hey, I'm done with the excuses. Become the man that your kids actually need. Become the man that the community can respect. Become the man who handles business instead of running from it. Because until we start holding ourselves accountable, we're going to keep having the same conversations, the same problems, and the same outcomes. Stop whining and stop waiting.
Real parents, that's what's up, man. Welcome to the chat.
Become the guy that nobody can deny. Ladies, give that man a break. Jesus, he's a hard-working guy. I know he liked that girl's photo, but so what? She's a sex doll. He chose you. He chose to build something with you. Build with him. All right? I'm not telling you to accept abuse, obviously. But let me tell you right now, it's nothing harder to find than a hard-working man that's going to ride out with you long term. He may not be perfect, but he works hard. Because life is like a game of musical chairs. You don't want to get up out that seat and somebody comes sit comfortably and they're looking at you like you crazy. You gave this up. I'm telling you right now, it's hard out here. Ain't the time to be looking for a place to sit. Love that man. Figure it out. Do it for the kids. I say whatever I like. I'll go wherever I like. I don't care.
Oh, my bad, y'all. Now, here's why I like this clip being here. He doesn't stop at criticism. He starts talking about building. Families, leadership, respect, encouragement.
Right.
One thing I've noticed, it's easy to become an expert at diagnosing problems. It's a lot harder becoming somebody people can actually want to build with. Criticism without construction eventually becomes another form of entertainment.
And I'm assuming that he defined that based off of the different parameters by which he spoke about the Black community. However, I think I agree with him, except for I would describe it as in shambles. Worse off than we've ever been, freer than we've ever been. And the fact that we're willing to blame Trump, although we've had decades of opportunities, Black cities, you look at some of the blackest cities in the United States of America, Memphis, for example, is in shambles and they needed Trump's help. And I think that there's a lack of accountability and victimhood. And as long as we continue to promote that it's somebody else's fault.
Right there.
You know, I was looking at Juneteenth in Chicago, right? And you had over 7 people killed and 36 people shot. And while we were focusing on whether or not Asians and white people, whether it's Carmelo Anthony or Cyrus Carmack, is responsible and if they should go to jail or not, in every city across America, especially where predominantly Black people live, you don't have to kill each other, but there's drive-bys and there were over 113 shell casings where 12 people were shot on Juneteenth itself. And so when I look at the state of the Black community, it has nothing to do with the political landscape. It has everything to do with self-accountability, regardless of whether or not you're picking the right curriculum, if you want to go to college or you want to go to community college. Healthcare, I don't think that we're concerned about it. Self-care, I don't think that we're concerned about it. And more importantly, I think that we're more concerned about self-care with regard to promoting ourselves and the culture that's the worst for us versus taking accountability for the state that we have ourselves in. We don't have to have children out of wedlock. We don't have to put ourselves at a disadvantage, and we don't have to have children in poverty. And we have more technological advantages as far as research and understanding of the past than we've ever had before. But for some reason, we're still worse off when we continue to vote the same way while requesting nothing from politicians and letting women lead us to the polls. And that is the direct result. You're seeing it transpire inside of the Black community.
Now, politics enters the room. Not first, last. That's important. Because before you ever argue over elections, parties, or politicians, you still have to wake up tomorrow and make decisions that nobody else can make for you. The loudest political debates sometimes hide the smallest personal decisions. Who you marry, how you raise your kids, whether you keep...
All right, chat, this is the last video. I'm letting him finish this conversation. I'm going to end it. Like I said before, I got a busy day tomorrow. This whole weekend, I got to work anyway. Really appreciate you guys being in the chat with me. I really appreciate it. If I have time tomorrow, I'll go live tomorrow. If not, I'll probably go Sunday and make a video. Appreciate you guys. Like, share, and subscribe, and hit the all button.
Your word. No government could ever replace those choices.
I've noticed something in my 40 years. The moment you go against nigger culture, degeneracy, and no longer become a participant in the victim Olympics, you become an enemy to most Black Americans. Why is that? I'm so glad you asked. The reason why is because we don't want the very thing that we criticize women of not wanting, and that's accountability. We would much rather play the victim. At what point does this become redundant, pathetic, and narcissistic? At what point do we say, hey, we see the play, now we're going to prepare for it. We're going to put the game in our hands. But that sounds too much like or should I say white, being that I'm such a...
Whether people agree with the statement or completely reject it, one thing is guaranteed. People are going to argue over it. And maybe that's not a bad thing, because conversations that matter usually survive disagreement, right? Conversations built entirely on applause usually disappear the second the audience leaves. Now, one thing every last one of these clips have in common: nobody was asking for permission to say what they believe. Some viewers will agree, some will disagree. That's normal. The better question is whether we're willing to examine ideas based on their merit instead of immediately sorting them into teams. Because every discussion becomes a jersey instead of an argument. Nobody learns anything. I'd rather wrestle with an uncomfortable truth than celebrate an uncomfortable or a very comfortable lie.
Right.
Now, let me know where you stand respectfully in the comments if you enjoyed the conversation, man. Or did.
Yeah, appreciate you guys, man. Thank you guys for stopping by with me, man. Appreciate it. You guys are a blessing. Have a blessed night. Weekend just getting started. Be safe.